You were Franklin's and...
Dude, man. My in-laws live in Austin, so I get down there a little bit more. But I haven't been to Houston since 1995. I came here, I'm from Chicago, and our high school had, Scholastic Bowl, Quiz Bowl.
Okay, I don't, but...
It's like trivia. It's like a sport. We won the Illinois State Championship, so we got to go to Rice for finals. And all I remember, it was real hot, and one night I ate too much taco cabana. Ooh, yeah. But it was delicious, and I might stop on the way to the airport. But it was great. Were you at the screening last night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was... I got home, I was just flying. It was just so great to, Texans are the first Americans to see this movie. And to get to watch a little bit of the reaction, but more importantly, talk to people afterwards and hear all kinds of different takes on it. I was bouncing off the walls when I got back to my room last night. I called my wife, and she was finally like, okay, I have to go. But it was great.
No, you cast your brother in it.
I cast my brother, man.
He's
an actor.
Coming?
Yeah, he's much younger than me, but he moved out to LA a few years ago, and he's on an NBC sitcom called Superstore, actually a great show. And I knew he was a great actor because I'd seen him do plays when he was going through the Steppenwolf Theater Training Center, and so I knew he was great. And when I was conceiving the movie and I knew I was going to have my brother part, right away I was like, okay, I need to cast my brother because there's a lot of great actors out there, but there's not a lot of great actors out there that, I threw a bag of change at in 1988 and hit him in the head and made his nose bloody. And I knew that because our characters were so combative that I could use a lot of I could really just exploit the times I was cruel to him. And my mom saw the movie and she said, I know there's scenes in that where you were really being mean to Jonathan. I said, Mom, I paid him. Relax.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he got paid. Okay. Who plays Carrie's husband? Is that Jay Duplass?
That's Jay Duplass.
Okay, he's not in the credits. Is that?
He's, I think, later. He's not in the main credits. I think he's later on. Yeah, he was in the Mindy Project with his brother Mark, and when I knew I needed this character who was only going to work a couple days, but he's an important part because he is that moment where he shows up,
that's the Alfred Hitchcock moment.
Yes, it's a huge release, and he's just a very likable guy who has a great face, and I always just imagine him coming out in like those sweatpants and saying, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And so we.
I think he and Mark kind of got their start in Austin with the puppy chair.
Yeah, they were part of that kind of up and coming mumblecore movement in Austin in the late '90s and stuff. And
I understand they hate that term.
They probably do.
It's like the French New Wave never called themselves.
They never did. I know. I take it back.
No.
It is. And they created it. But they came on the Mindy Project, and we just love those guys so much. And it's been funny because Jay was not an actor when he came on the Mindy Project. He was just a writer-director. And he was so likable and fun to watch that he started booking these big parts. He booked Transparent and all this stuff. So he's like just an actor now.
Yeah. Okay, what kind of camera and lens were you using?
We shot on Alexa Minis. They're just, my DP was a really great guy named Kerry Lalonde, and I've shot on those before, and they're light, they're easy to move, they look great, and then Panavision gave us these just gorgeous lenses that have this kind of like late 60s look to it. And the movie's very kind of influenced in my mind by like those kind of great films of the 70s that were like, not, political per se, but nature, talking about, culture of what was going on in America. So they gave us just these gorgeous lenses, man. Really nice.
How long did it take to shoot the film? I mean, it looks like a very economical...
19 days. We knew that it was one location, right? 80%.
And that's a practical location. You're not shooting it in interiors on a studio.
Nope, that's all one house in Chatsworth, California. And it is... the challenge with that and shooting in one location, I said it's easy to write a movie in one location, but it's hard to shoot one location because I've seen movies that take place in one house, and sometimes your eye gets bored. You're seeing some slightly different versions of the same frame and the same shot a lot. And so to me, what we really wanted to do is have the camera kind of adapt to the tone. So you watch the movie in the first half hour, 45 minutes, nice big wide frames, nice vibrant color and family and stuff. And then as we start to take the turn and go into the dark place, those frames are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. I mean, the last time you see me before J.D. Kloss walks in, we are like here. And there's no close-ups the first 40 minutes of the movie. It's all wide. And then the color, the lighting starts to take on this more dark, orangey, sinister feel to it. So the challenge was just making sure that as we were going, we were never giving the audience a chance to get eye bored.
What was the approximate budget on the film?
I don't know if I can say.
Okay, we don't worry about that.
I don't know what the producer said anyone time goes, never tell me.
No. Films always look more expensive than they
do.
I had the feeling that this was just because of the economy. It's economy. It's like you really save money.
It is, but it was union.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're all union, and we have really good actors. We just got lucky.
With the neighbors going, hey man, we got these trucks being parked out here for 2 weeks.
I'm going to give a shout out to David Flannery, the greatest locations manager in all the world.
Okay.
Who really because we were also shooting in between the holidays, we knew that it was we didn't want to infringe on anyone, and he is the greatest wizard at going through and talking to all the neighbors. And a big thing, if you're shooting a movie and you want the neighbors to feel loved, say, and we're shooting and blah blah, and come by, grab some food whenever you want. And so we had all the neighbors kind of hanging out, talking and stuff. So it was really.
So between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, between Thanksgiving and Christmas of last year, exactly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We knew the movie needed to come out as soon as possible. So it was just let's shoot this. Let's shoot it quickly, and let's edit it, and then really make sure it is what you want it to be, and let's try to get it out before Thanksgiving.
There's a couple of movie posters on the walls, but they look like they're
fake.
They're fake.
They're fake.
So what's the one in the bedroom that's like a Swedish or a Russian?
I think it's Czechoslovakian. Shout out to the great Tom Lazowski, my production designer. I told him, when we talked that my characters, in my mind, our characters are good progressive liberals, and they've traveled the world, all kinds of stuff. So he blew me away when I saw his set deck. He has this giant, fake Czechoslovakian film festival poster in there. And then he had a couple of great ones too. In my bedside table is a Geraldine Ferraro book. You know what I mean? And my favorite little piece he did in my office, in the scene where I'm talking to Max Greenfield, there's a McGovern poster. And so,
I remember that.
Yeah, he gave me these great little touches that really kind of painted a picture of this kind of, slightly medium, well-to-do off progressive folks.
Well, I noticed, structure-wise, the film kind of moves along. We're, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but then there's this ominous, and then it's like halfway through the film, all of a sudden it becomes this hostage film, and it's really cool because I was thinking, wow, they're structurally they're going to take us through each day in an even manner. But no, it's just the last part of the film became this intense, almost like that movie Detroit, where you spend an hour and a half in the hallway.
I hope it's a little funnier than Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit made me sick. I love Mrs. Miniver. You ever seen Mrs. Miniver, William Wyler?
Dude, I love that you brought up, they made a sequel to that.
They did?
Yeah.
What's it called? Is it with Greer Wilson?
Yes. Because she won an Oscar for that.
She sure did.
Yeah. No, I love that you're mentioning old films, that you're into these.
I love what I saw when I was a kid, and I always remember thinking, it does that thing where it's it's a cute, movie in English life, and then all of a sudden, kill him!
Yeah.
So I my goal was to kind of get that balance where you feel like, even though it is kind of two stories, it's one cohesive piece.
I know that. There's some, first of all, Tiffany Haddish, because I only know her as kind of this wacky, comedian, and she's not wacky here. She's very serious. She's on point. She's, brilliant performance.
Brilliant performance. Thank you. I always knew from the minute I saw her in the movie Keanu, I wanted her to be my wife. And right when I started breaking the story, and I knew it was going to be this kind of central story of this husband and wife, I was like, oh, it's Haddish. And it's difficult because the first half of the movie, she's really tormented and kind of internalizing everything and very conflicted and stuff, I guess. And then when she goes off, she just explodes, right? And she gets in that great mode. And she blew everyone away, man.
Okay, last question. I know they want to wrap it up. There's some key words in here, because I noticed you managed to get the word collusion.
Yes.
What is the other word that he mispronounces?
Collusion. He
says something in his
collusion. Yeah, we would definitely
call collusion.
Collusion's the word you're looking for.
What does CPU stand for?
Citizens Protection Unit. But I did try to layer it with these little, like, if you listen to one of the talk radio moments, like I have a guy saying, facts don't care about your feelings, which is something I see uber conservatives on Twitter sometimes, say, oh, I don't care about your feelings, they're facts. So I did try to pepper it in just enough, drop these little kind of Easter eggs for people who, and I apologize if they are as tuned into this political madness as we are, that you do kind of recognize, just to kind of, just bring it, relate a little more